Hello and welcome to Boomer and Beyond Wellness. I'm Angelafischetti. So today's workout is a weighted ball upper body workout with supersets. Remember that supersets is when we work 2 exercises back to back without any rest. Now the accessories we'll be using today will be a sticky yoga mat. I'll also be using 4 weighted balls between 10 to 20 pounds and then an unweighted ball, the fit ball. You could also use a 9-inch Pilates ball. And so this is not going to add any resistance, but what it will help you with, folks, is your form, because you don't want to get sloppy and you don't want to move super fast to accomplish as many reps as possible. This is the complete antithesis to that, okay? This is all about a workout that is here to help you build your bone and muscle strength. Super important. We can't do that with as many reps as possible, though it can be a lot of fun, right? Okay, so I will also be using a weighted bench. Must you have a weighted bench? No. We're going to be doing 3 exercises that will be on our backs, which means we'll be lying supine face up. Now, you can choose to use either the floor or your bed if you can't get down to the floor. Is the bed my preferred surface? No, but if that's the best you can do, do it. Do not avoid doing the work, please. And also, for those of you, medicated or not, for hypertension, have vertigo or GERD, I'm double checking. Yes, I have a folded hand towel under my bench to remind me to tell you, for you folks, to make sure when you are in those supine exercises, in those supine positions, I want you to be able to have your head slightly elevated. Please don't think higher is better, I should use 2 towels. No, not at all, because it will throw off the cervical spine of your neck. So just a little subtle elevation for medicated or not hypertension, have vertigo or GERD. Now, this moves me right into the precautionary measures and medical disclaimers. I'm going to state something here. It's a blanket statement. If you have any chronic health concerns at all, please preview my videos before participating and look for what you can do, because I'm pretty sure you're going to find something here that is appropriate for you. However, if you are not sure, right, if you're unsure after you watch the video, I don't know what to do, then I would invite the medical healthcare practitioner who knows your body best to preview the video as well to help you make an informed decision. Now, specific to this workout, well, if you have a latex allergy, be careful. You need to look for non-latex or latex-free for the yoga mat, as well as all of the exercise balls, both weighted and without the additional resistance. They're made out of latex. If you are medicated or not for hypertension, have vertigo or GERD, we already mentioned about the towel when you're supine. But when you are upright working out, do make sure that you're not doing this, dropping the head down, which is basically a flexion of the cervical spine of the neck. So for you folks, I need you to keep your chin head neutral. Now, this is also something I want to address with everybody, especially if you have neck issues. Please, when you're working out with me on the videos or any other video, make sure your device is not on the floor if it's standing work, because you're going to wind up coming into that neck flexion issue of that cervical spine. And no, sometimes you wind up blaming the exercise when it's really how you're holding your head. So make sure your devices are up at eye level whenever you're working out with any one of us who is on YouTube. Also, if you have carpal tunnel syndrome, you need to avoid wrist extension. It doesn't matter what the arms are doing and all that, is because if the movement is done in wrist extension, that is a contraindication for you. You need to make sure the wrists are straight. So they're will be some exercises here that are not appropriate for you. However, there will be others here that are appropriate. So do not disqualify the entire workout for one or two exercises, okay? For those of you with back spine issues, particularly with flexion of the spine, that means you've been advised not to bend down or pick up something, and especially something of weight, then I'm going to insist that you don't do that, okay? Please pay attention to the medical advice, and I'm going to show you here now how you can do a modification for one of the exercise, actually for the one exercise that we will be in a spine flexion. And this exercise is a bent over, which is your giveaway, right? Bilateral back row. I'm just going to show you a couple of repetitions of what it actually will look like, right? That's why it's ill-advised for you. For you folks, what I want you to do is just simply stand up and pull the ball toward you. And I'm going to release the arms down. It's your responsibility to apply that modification to your workout, because I won't be repeating it. Let's put that down because it's got a life and mind of its own right now. Okay. Also, for those, oh, by the way, and that back spine flexion could apply to those of you with osteoporosis of the spine, but not exclusively to it, as well as the postural deviation hyperkyphosis, where you're kind of hunched in appearance. Just do the upright version, okay? Now, if you've had a TIA, a transient ischemic attack, or a stroke, well, at the end, you know that whenever I have spine flexion work, I like to incorporate at the end for a short cool down, where we can do some back spine extension. It's also known as back bending. So you can go as deep into that back bend or not as your body allows. But for TIA stroke, the part of this that a lot of us love to do is to just let the neck go into hyperextension. Now, there is nothing wrong with doing hyperextension of the neck, of the cervical spine, because the body's capable of it. But not for TIA or stroke. I wouldn't suggest it, and I would suggest you as well. Keep your chin head neutral. Now, for golfers or tennis elbow, medial and lateral epicondylitis. It's all about that elbow joint, right? So you need to find out from a medical practitioner if any bicep or tricep work is appropriate for you. I cannot give you a modification because many times each individual experiences the symptoms differently. That's why I need you to get further advice, because we definitely have a couple of exercises here that focus on both bicep and tricep. And then finally, for those of you with hand issues, and I'm talking serious hand issues that maybe even holding the fit ball would be contraindicated for you. All right, could be arthritis, could be Dupuytren's contracture, trigger finger, but the list goes on. So for you folks, I don't want you to give up on hope of strength training. You need to get comfortable with adjustable wrist weights. Super important, and I have them in the accessory list for you with a link. I'm going to have that there for you in the show notes. So wrist weights for you folks with serious hand issues. And then if you can manage to hold the ball, go for it. It would still be the unweighted ball. It will be so wonderful for you. All right, now we've covered all of that. This list goes on, but this is the best I can do right now. Now, as far as why I chose to work out with a weighted ball, you know, I live in an apartment and I can't slam the ball down. I would love to, because it's a wonderful part of the workout, but I can't. So I just was experimenting with the weighted balls, and I find that I do prefer the slam balls because they're textured. So you've got something to hold on to, which leads me into one of the signs of mortality as we're aging is we lose hand and grip strength. This is why I'm bringing it into our work here on my channel. So it is to help you with hand, finger, wrist forearm, all of this is going to get affected by working with the weighted balls. And additionally, if there is, we know that the wrist joint is an osteoporotic joint. Again, in the aging process. Does it have to be? No, you can strength train that wrist, and this is one of the ways I'm tying it into our work. Now, another thing that working with a weighted ball can do is to enhance greater explosiveness and power. And you might question, why do we need that when we get older? You absolutely do need it. I need it. I'm going to be 67. I'm in that category, okay? So it's all about the reflex reaction time. So we can enhance the reflex reaction time by working with different equipment that we're not used to, and especially with this, with the weighted balls. So yeah, it's good stuff. You need to try it, even just as an experiment. And here's the other thing, the more you vary up your equipment and your accessories, the better for cognition, okay? So now, some gentle reminders. Always feel free to stop and rest whenever you need to, but I am not inviting you to quit. So when you stop, take a couple of breaths and then return to the work. Also, to make sure that you keep yourselves properly hydrated throughout the day, but certainly while you're working out. However, if you've been medically advised because of previous existing issues like kidney or bladder issues to avoid drinking a lot of water, then you avoid drinking the water. Now on the channel, you want to look for my warm-up and cool-down video, one video that you can interchange the movements, and it is advised for those of us who are 55 years and above to warm up for a full 10 minutes prior to any workout. And then within the community tab of the channel, I want you to look for a very cool article I found from Silver Sneakers about working out with weighted exercise balls, okay? And also look for the Rating of Perceived Exertion chart, RPE for short. And basically, this is a subjective 0 through 10 scale, which can be an excellent tool for those who have a pacemaker or maybe on certain medications like beta blockers, but maybe you just don't know how to take your training heart rate. So the advice is for my channel to work out at an RPE between 3 and 6. So what are we going to do here today with this weighted ball upper body workout with supersets? I'm going to teach you 8 exercises vertically. One set of each exercise. A set is a group of 8 to 15 repetitions. But we're going to use the fit ball or the Pilates ball, whichever one you have. And if you don't have one, folks, I highly recommend them. And they're really one of the few accessories remaining that is very inexpensive, but it's just wonderful for that form, as I mentioned earlier. Then after the vertical approach, this is when we move into the supersets. We will break the program down into 4 blocks of 2 exercises each using the weighted exercise balls. So let's begin here talking about an athletic ready stance, how to stand when we train. So place the hands to the inside of the high hip bones. They're called the iliac crest, not to the outside, to the inside. Hands pointing straight down, not turned in. We want to line up to the knees, to the ankles. Toes, same line as each other. Now for the females in the house especially, I'm going to turn here to the side. I see a lot of this with females when they're training standing. They start dipping into this anterior pelvic tilt where they're tipping the pelvis forward. We actually want to do the exact opposite, which is come into a subtle posterior pelvic tilt, also known as a pelvic tuck. So let's begin here now with the first block. I'm going to grab the ball, and the first exercise is the chest press, and we'll be doing the second one, which is the Tricep Skullcrusher. For that chest press, if you can't get in your back, remember, work on the push. So I'm going to show you here on the bench now. And we're gonna puff up the chest. So I draw the shoulder blades, the scapulae, down and in toward each other. It's going to create a subtle arch in my back. Holding the ball at the chest. Now, this approach, we have to be careful because it's carpal tunnel syndrome related. The wrists are extended. So I'm gonna push up. I'm bending the elbows out to the sides because I want to bring the triceps in here even more than it already is working. Working the pectoralis muscles of the chest, the anterior deltoid of the shoulders, and those triceps. You want to exhale on the effort, which is your push, and the breath is in and out through the nose. You want to pause at the peak of the contraction right here. One more exhale, push and hold. Now from here, this is when we're going to head into the Tricep Skullcrusher. So arms are up, we bend the elbows, ball above and beyond the head. And if it lightly grazes the head, that's fine, but it's called Skullcrusher for a reason. So we want to be careful. What we don't want to do is a pullover, right? We want to be able to bend the elbow and then extend it. And that full extension. We also don't want to do this, where we start to drop the elbows away from your head. We want you up there, folks. Exhale, pause. Let's go for 2 more. Now, if you cannot do this on your back, all right, then you can actually do a tricep, an overhead press or an overhead extension. So you can use this as well as an alternative. We will be doing that, by the way. And now for the next block, we have the bent over bilateral back row. So I already showed you doing the standing on the pull phase, and what I'm calling a half of a bicep curl, and you'll see why. So I'm going to bring the ball back down, and I want to make sure you can see it, and then I pull. Exhale, pull. So I'm just pausing, and I am lightly touching the ground. I want to make sure I don't make a slamming sound when I'm using the heavier ball. One more. Pull and lower. Now with the half of a bicep curl, that means the ball is hanging down here and I'm coming up pretty much halfway. And you're going to pause. You're going to find when you have the weighted ball, wow, it's a lot of work in the forearms, in the abdominals, and in those biceps. So we're using shoulder muscles, deltoids as stabilizers. A couple of more repetitions. Notice I pause and slowly lower. Now for the next block, we have the standing incline chest press. We got to be careful here with TIA stroke. We don't want to drop that head back. And we're going to do this with the pull over for the back. So now, for those of you who don't want to lie down at all for the back, you can do, again, working on the bilateral back row. Bilateral, working both sides at the same time. So I'm going to hold the ball here. I'm going to lean back a little. My legs, they're a little bit wider because when I have the heavier ball, I'm going to need that for support. And exhale, push. Again, on the push work, we have pectorals, we have anterior deltoid, we have triceps, chest, shoulders, front shoulders, and triceps. But also now, because of the leaning back, we have some back erector muscles involved as well. And again, when you have the weighted ball, you're going to feel a lot of core. One more, exhale, push, pause, and slowly lower. And now we're going to do this with the pull over. So I'm going to come to the bench. Don't get it confused with the Tricep Skullcrusher, okay? So we bring the arms down and up. Now, what I don't want you to do is to go here, okay? So we lower and then exhale. I'm pretty much in the same line as my breastbone, my sternum. Inhale, lower, exhale, up. We're working the latissimus dorsi muscles, those big swimmer muscles. We're working the shoulder muscles, the abdominals, the biceps, even the triceps are working here. But don't let that elbow bend a lot. And when you have the weighted ball in your hands, the tendency is going to want to be to bend them. A little softening is okay, but if they're bent, it's no longer going to be a pullover. It'll be back to the skull crusher. Let's go for 2 more. Exhale. Yes, there is a little bit of the arch in my lower back. Hold here and slowly lower. And I think we're on the final block here. Yeah. So this is a bicep scoop. Now this is going to kind of be the sister of what we just did with the halfway here. Now, for the bicep scoop, I'm going to hold it in the halfway point and bring her out and up. And I'm maintaining a 90-degree angle bend at the elbow. Lots of bicep work here because it's isometrically contracted. Do not let this happen. Watch, on the way down, people do this. No. 90. Pause. Working the anterior deltoid, front shoulders. Beautiful range of motion movement for mobility of the shoulder joints, the glenohumeral joint, the scapulae, shoulder blades are sliding around. It's really nice. Pause. And facing you for 2 more. Up, hold. And exhale, up, hold. And slowly lower. Now I am going to sit down here because I do want you to see the arms fully extended. This is the tricep overhead press, also known as the overhead extension. You bring your arms up, you bend the elbows, and the ball goes toward the back of your head. Inhale, exhale, fully extended up. This, yes, is perfectly okay for carpal tunnel. And up. Even the bicep work is okay for carpal tunnel, the half bicep curl, and the bicep scoop. So you don't want to dismiss the entire workout. 2 more. Now 2 more. Inhale, exhale, all the way up. 1 more. Elbows pointing up. Great. So now I'm going to set aside the fit ball, and we're going to go right into now the supersets. First block, chest press with the Tricep Skullcrusher. I have the balls already set up. 20-pound ball for the chest press. Coming on to my back. And shoulder blades down and in. Puff up the chest and push. Remember, contraindicated for carpal tunnel. Pause at the peak. Focus on a non-moving point on the ceiling and try to reach it. Elbows bending out to the sides, engaging tricep, even more than it would. 2 more. No collapsing of the chest when you lower the ball. Last one. Pause. Easy as you lower that down. Now let me set that off. And grab my 12-pounder, right? Yeah, for my Tricep Skullcrusher. It sounds awful. All right. Coming on to the back. Not to be confused with a pullover. Okay, elbows up, girl. I can hear the sand in the ball shifting around. 1 more. Oof. Ooh la la. And because we're supersetting, back to the 20 for the chest press. And let's get that textured. The way to go here is textured with these balls, folks. Puff up the chest and Breath in and out through the nose. Don't forget if you need to use the towel underneath your head. 2 more. 1 more. 1 more. And hold here. Easy lowering down. Grab the 12. And onto the back. Tricep Skullcrusher. Mm. 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 1 more. Oh, man. Easy to take it down. Now, for the next block, we have the bent over bilateral back row. I'll be using the 20 for that. And the half of a bicep curl, I'll use the 12. We've got them. All right, so let's bring this out over here. Double check that you can see it. You sure can. Okay, 20 pounds, head up, please, no matter what. Exhale, pull, touch, pull, touch. I'm doing a subtle release of the ball too when I touch the floor. Two more. 1 more. And down. And take it into the half of a bicep curl. 12 pounds. Curl. Curl. Right in there. So in the bicep. Wow. It is talking to me. 1 more. Oh, and down. All right, let's work those upper back muscles now. Posterior delt bicep. Let's do this thing. Okay, let's try it a little bit on a different angle for you, okay? Yeah, okay. And pull, pull, pull. Exhale. Don't let that head sag down, folks. Woo. Belly button. 1 more. And I'm going to roll her over and back to the half a bicep curl. Puff at that chest. Especially when you lower the ball, you want to make sure that you're not collapsing the chest, because that's oftentimes the abdominal muscle pulling you down, trying to flex the spine. Woo. 2 more. Yes. 1 more. Careful here with golfers and tennis elbow, right? Okay, now for the next, what do we have? Woo. I felt those. Standing incline chest press. I'm going to use 15 pounds with that. And then the pull over. I'm going to keep the 12 pounder on the bench. I'm just trading off here for a 15 pounder with the ball for the standing incline chest press. Okay, my wrists are in wrist extension. Carpal tunnel, careful please. So I'm going to lean back a little bit. Okay, push. Push. Not straight overhead. Make sure you pause at the peak. 2 more. Wow. And slowly down. What are we doing with this? Yeah, pull over. So you gotta set it on the floor, Angela. Okay, so now for the pull over. And we'll feel this. 12 pounds. And go for that little stretch. Take your time, feel for it. Careful, I almost wanted to bend my elbows. 2 more. Oh, a lot of ab work. 1 more. Oh, gosh. What's so good, folks? I mean, this is just so good for you. Okay, back to incline chest press. Let's face you a bit. And up. And up. Exhale. Two more. And slowly down. Back to the pullover. Puff up the chest. Allow there to be that little arch in the back. Let it happen, but don't force it. Squeeze that ball. Just a little adjustment there. Oh yeah. Dos más. Let's see. And up. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Now, I think we're on the final block. Yes, we are. Bicep scoop. I am keeping the 12-pounder. And then I'm going to do the tricep overhead press, also known as the extension. And I have a 10-pounder for that. So here we go. 12 pounds, bicep scoop. We'll face you for the moment. 1 second. Shirt is shifting around. Let's just get it so it makes a little sense. Okay, here we go. So you see how this complements the half bicep curl, right? I want to make sure I don't rock my elbows too far back behind me, because then it's a little too much momentum. 1 more. Oh, man. And all the way down. Okay, I'm going to sit down here so you can see the extension going on. And definitely okay for a carpal tunnel as well. But be careful here, this round, folks, with golfers' tennis elbows. Dos más. Oh, yeah. And slowly take it down. Back to the bicep scoop. Come a little closer here. Okay. See that pause up there, right? I'll tell you right now, I'm feeling the pec as well. Biceps, anterior deltoid, front shoulders, beautiful rotation through the glenohumeral joints for the shoulders. Oh my goodness. I don't want to rock my body. I'm going to go a little broader with my stance. Yes, sometimes that'll help you get another repetition. Last one. Oh my goodness. And slowly down. Woo, that la. And let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. And up. And up. Exhale. Up. Let it bend. Let those elbows bend. Take it through a range of motion. If you find you're barely bending your elbows, the ball is too heavy, lighten up the load. 2 more. Belly button, Angela, pull it in. Last one, up. I felt that. Oh my goodness. All right, first things first, shake out the hands. Flap the wrists. Shake and flap. The other thing I'd like you to do is interlock the fingers. Do a sideways number 8, and you can go super fast with this, and then reverse direction as well. Let's go into, now this is the wrist extension side of the body. So in order to get the wrist extensors to stretch, you need to go into wrist flexion. And now we're stretching the extensors. I don't have the arm up super high. Actually, the wrist is a bit lower than the shoulder. Now turn it over. So when you hold your stretches on your own, when you are cooling down, you want to hold for 20 to 30 seconds each. Now would be the time I would guide you toward that warm-up cool-down video. Get another 5 minutes in at least of a proper cool-down. Working on the other arm here. Turn it over. Careful here. Carpal tunnel is going to avoid going into wrist extension, even though we're stretching the wrist flexors. And then I'm going to push the walls away. Again, carpal tunnel. Here you can do this stretch, but just straighten the wrists and reach out through the middle fingers. Inhale, turn the thumbs down. Exhale, interlock all 10 fingers. Make sure you're working on retracting your shoulder blades down and in toward each other, that you are not going into tech neck or forward head posture here. You could always use that hand towel and simply glide your arms back. And now I'm going to place the hands on the lower back, on the sacrum. Carpal tunnel, you place your hands below the butt so your wrists are not extended. I'm standing with my feet wider than my hips, and I'm going to take that back bend, that spine extension. I'm just kind of encouraging one side of the sacrum at a time to think they are sliding down toward the heels, but they're not sliding, though. It's just an image I use. Now I'm going to roll the shoulders back. Don't worry if the belly pooches out, folks. Nobody cares. And TIA stroke, head remains here. The rest of us, you can go for it. That's great. You can also straighten the knees. And inhale, head to neutral. Exhale, come all the way up. Take a couple of big shoulder rolls, and that's what we've got for you today, folks, here at Boomer and Beyond Wellness. And please, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel, share the videos, give it a kind comment, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. And folks, these steps all really help the channel grow. And if you would like to receive my free monthly newsletter, please go to my website, which is boomerandbeyondwellness.com. Look for the subscribe tab, sign up, and you're going to receive an immediate thank you gift of a workout video that I did design exclusively for newsletter subscribers. So until next time, eat your greens, eat your beans, drink your water, and be well. Thank you.